Ready check. Raid warning. Right, wrong game.
Are we live or no? Because we are in the lounge room, just so you know. Anyone can join this.
So, like, who's gonna join it?
No,
Just
we are
saying.
live. So,
Okay.
should we switch our Discord?
Yeah.
Probably.
Why not? Let's let people join it. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun, he said.
Nobody joins our Discord for
Hey,
one.
you know what? It might be fun. Let's just see.
All right.
Hey, these guys left their Discord open.
Yeah. It's like the modern day equivalent of leaving your Facebook open, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like, that's the kobold talking.
Talking. All right.
All right, let's do an intro, huh?
Yeah, we're back. Remind us all what happened, Jesse.
Wait, are we live? Like, live? Everybody can hear us?
We're so live right now. We don't even know what's going on.
So live.
Oh, we're that live.
Living the live.
Yeah, this
Let me
is the
get
kind of live where you say stuff that you shouldn't. Hot mic kind of live.
Right, let me get off my Facebook. Chronicles of the Coast. Oh man, crazy. We missed last week for one. For two, we are working on coping with COVID. That's going to be the name of my memoir, Coping with COVID. Yeah, everybody can laugh at that. Don't.
Such
you know.
such a struggle. Staying inside all day, eating with your kids.
It is.
Yeah,
It is for those extroverts, but I'm having the time of my life. Chronicles of the Coast. If you had not read our fantastic, well-written review of our last game, then you might be wondering what we are doing this week. And that would be that the players, Mooney Rumbleforge, Ember, the Turtle, Nakma Silverhorn, and Felix Faustus, and Thaddeus Thornbranch have all been delving into a mine that has been controlled, a mine that has been operated under the labors of kobold, controlled by humans and orc of the town of Hammer's Rest. Now, this particular mine, the kobolds have revolted. The players had been asked in order to deal with the head of the kobold. Kobolds are followers. Cutting the head off the serpent would make the rest fall in line. However, the challenge is that they are docked pay for every kobold slain. They were offered a small monetary prize, although the Jarl of this particular town did not seem to really need the players, but instead offered them this quest as a bit of a test after he had heard rumors that they had done something marvelous and miraculous in the last town of Fjolta, and that was dealing with the plague. And so, we have our players here. Let's do a quick roll call. We've got Mooney, played by... Time to talk.
I am the guy who keeps forgetting that he muted his mic. Hey, everybody. I'm John Wallace, and I play Mooney Rumbleforge, the luchador monk who is grappling with the problem of choosing any levels or a dip in Ranger.
Continuing that, we have Nakma Silverhorn, played by
Silvermane.
Silvermane.
Yes, that's okay. Played by me, myself, Rick Taylor. Nakma is a barbarian, storm herald of the sea. He's not happy that he's cold. Who's next? Glad to be here.
Last but not least, we have the cleric with the power of Agapalacia, the light cleric Ember, played by...
Yes, good evening. I am Chris Shop, playing Amba this evening,
Played
follower of
by the player who has
Agapalasia.
his microphone on
Oh,
mute, or he's
You
not
know
here?
what? I'm just forgetting that I have to push so many buttons to talk now. Uh, so anyway, I am Amba, Eva Bright, although I don't say my last name very often because I don't quite like it. Follower of Agapalasia, from a distant cave far south on the planet, and here to do my god's bidding, and feeling pretty good about all the good we've been doing from town to town, and looking to keep that streak alive.
Fantastic.
Nakama's right there with you with the happiness.
with the happiness, or our current situation. I am. I play Felix Faustus. I'm Dan Lippert.
Oh my God,
And-
I am so sorry. I forgot to introduce you.
Oh no,
God,
no, 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 no.
God, he dies, and you just completely kick him off the podcast.
Messed up.
Yeah,
You know-
I stand apart from the group. Felix is a creature all into his own. He's like a one-man group, so
Outcast.
it's fine. It's totally fine. This is fine.
And this is your second character because of why?
Uh, poor player choices, perhaps. Deadly shadows in a crazy land called Amarth. I don't know. It could be one or the other. But the real truth is, I died a few sessions ago, and I've been having to play this amazing rogue swashbuckling Aarakocra bird who is on a mission of relief, I suppose. And we'll see how all that works out for him. But he is definitely seeking something in this frozen north, and his true intentions have been a bit muddled because he likes to tell tall tales. And despite that fact, he is still I guess you could say like a reliable companion in battle. He hasn't let him down yet. But who knows? That could change if what he seeks comes into view. But yeah, Felix Faustus is his name.
Wow, that sounds like foreshadowing.
Hmm
All right. You are also, the players are accompanied by one Thaddeus Thornbranch. Thaddeus Thornbranch is an NPC that was introduced thanks to a supporter of ours. Shout out to Stevicus Prime, who I see in the chat. Also, good evening, Badger Sack. Hello, Loki. Something. Loki.
Yeah.
Hello, Loki. And
Speaks for itself.
Stevicus.
Yeah.
Hmm
Loki's here every Wednesday with the rest of the group.
he is.
Mhm.
Stevicus is one of our top fans for sure, and he donated some stuff. And is it just me, or is it rather quiet?
Nah, like None
Most
of us are
cats aren't
talking.
quiet.
Yeah, we're always
Uh,
muting our mics so we don't talk over each other.
I don't know. Stevicus is saying that it sounds quiet. We have our sound going, right?
oh,
Or
like I see.
do you hear me?
Yeah, I got volume. I was watching it.
Yeah,
Nice
I mean,
move on highlighting the minis for us, Chris.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
No, it
Definitely stands out.
no the sound's good, guys. I can hear it fine.
Okay. I don't
maybe
know.
we
I don't
just
know.
need to
Stevic-
speak up.
I don't
Can
know.
you
I don't know.
hear me?
I just wanted to double check. Stevicus was saying something. Technical difficulties have happened before.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, definitely.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
like
I
that.
double checked on my end. My other machine's coming in just fine.
Cool. All right. So, Otter, the Stout, ODDRE, half orc, has given you the option of coming in here. You don't have to do it, but you did. And if you do, there's a reward if you're successful. So, you were just discovering that the kobolds have been laying traps throughout the mine. You've also found a couple of parts of this mine that appear to have been dwarven in make and that are chiseled from the earth with fine skill, as opposed to the rough tunnels of the kobolds. We left off with Felix, who had circled around a pit of spikes and was beginning to look down a hallway. Now, Felix,
Hmm
do Aarakocra have dark vision?
No, no, I have a torch.
You have a torch.
Hmm
Okay. Now, a torch emits bright light up to 20 feet and dim light up to 20 feet beyond that. Ta-da! How do you like that?
Hey, hey.
It's a cool feature that Roll20 has, and it's like my silver lining
Wow.
to the whole thing that we have to do. I prefer the tabletop, but hey, we're making it work.
Right? Silver
No.
linings.
Right. Let me hand it over to you guys. Thaddeus is in the back, and he is waiting to see what you all do.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and, unless anyone has any objections, start moving forward and make a perception check, and see what I can do about, looking for traps. Maybe Ember should come up and help me out.
Yes, absolutely. I warm my hands up a little bit and give you a pat on the back for some guidance.
Can I make a nature? Sorry, can I make a nature check? There's no spiders that produce oil webs, right?
Do a nature
Oil.
check.
Oil-soaked webs.
Exactly as you were saying, go ahead and make that nature check, and let's see what your result is. See if you can find webs that are oil soaked. Oh, with a natural 20. No, with a 19. Not a natural 20. With a 19 plus 1, an unnatural 20, you are pretty sure. Out of the frozen north, you do not know of hardly any spider species other than the giant spider species known as Ginormicus terriblius.
They sound awful.
Interesting.
They
It's a
do
horrible
sound awful.
breed.
It is indeed one of the worst of the giant spider species. However, their webbing is quite sticky, although it is known to be able to soak up oil and still retain its strength.
Wow.
So the oil's not natural. That's what I believe, right?
You do not believe that the oil is natural. You believe that it was applied after the fact.
All right. Sorry, Felix.
Felix, fantastic. This is your perception check, am I correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that is a
Beautiful
natural
roll on
20
that
plus
critical.
4. Yeah. Woo. My mic is always on, so you
Yep,
can hear
yep,
me.
yep.
I don't
Yeah,
know
buddy.
how long. Well, here you are. You can see down. What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing.
So I am torch out in front of me, head on a swivel, tapping the ground in front of me with my toe. Kind of like how chickens do, and out in the pen, just like tap 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 back and forth, looking left and right, and checking for tripwires, loose tiles, anything that looks like it might be dangerous.
Okay. And you're heading. You're just,
Down this tunnel here that's in front of me. Whereas this one's my character, right? Sorry.
You're up at the top there. Dan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that way exactly.
Go ahead. Move your character 30 feet or however far you want to go.
Yeah, for some reason it's not letting me. Can you move it? My computer's being slow.
Probably the special effects that we have.
It was just lagging up. It slowed.
Yeah. Now I've got like something opening up that it thinks I need to use, I guess. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Moving down that tunnel, checking for traps and listening for the sounds of kobold.
As you move down the tunnel, you uncover a passage. You see that the ground is covered in scuff marks in an area. Allow me to just show you a little bit of that. Scuff marks right here. A passage. It's tiny, it's narrow, and you actually would have to. You can't walk through it straight. You have to turn to your side a little bit to move through. Although smaller creatures, it appears, have been able to duck underneath some of the rock and claw through quite quickly. And that's where you see the scuff marks, is in the sandy ground.
Ah, okay. So it looks like there may have been some creatures that traveled this way recently, basically. Is that kind of what you're hinting at?
It looks like creatures have traveled through that small passageway that you can see.
Okay. Do you know that the entire map is revealed?
It is for you?
Yep.
That's weird, because I'm looking at the stream and
Dan, you're probably logged in as the admin or something, dude. Under Roll20.
No, I don't think so. I'm logged into mine.
I do not see the whole map.
Okay.
I do not
could-
see. No, I see Felix on
We,
there.
we should keep going from here, but Dan, you just need to refresh. It happened to me also. My
Okay.
game crashed halfway through that. But
Ah,
continue
yeah.
on, please.
Yeah, so I let everybody know, hey fellas, it seems as if several of these little creatures have come this way recently, traveling down this tight little corridor here. I think I can fit through if I turn sideways.
Alright, let's all move forward then.
And okay,
Sounds good. Let's
so
go.
I'll go ahead and like hold the torch out through like down the little crevice and see if I can like get an idea of what's through there, you know.
Can somebody please move me? I am not going to be able to. I keep crashing in and out. But continue on. I'm going to follow in your footstep.
Would you like for me to turn off our special effects here? Because I believe that that's probably the cause of us crashing.
If it helps, yeah. I mean, none of us will metagame.
Okay, hold on. Hide area.
It's just the torch effects that are the problem.
I'm sure it is, and that's the whole dynamic lighting effect. So, give me a second here.
In the meantime, Nakma,
Yeah.
you think there's any way to actually convince these guys? They seem very easy to scare.
They are skittish little creatures, aren't they?
Maybe they
I-
like goat
I-
cheese. I think we
I'm
had some
just
leftover
thinking
from-
maybe we should try to give them food or some sort of peace offering.
I mean, we still have all this goat cheese from Wrongvald, right?
Our screen just went black. Do we need to refresh? Oh, no,
How's
it's come
that?
back. I might need to refresh. It just went black.
It's okay. So, I never knew this, but Wrongvald's cheese smells delicious. It's very light, and it's got a very fluffy texture to it. It kind of just splits into pieces when you eat it, and it spreads really nicely on bread.
Do you have any with you?
Yeah, we got a lot. He gave us like 5 days worth of Wrongvald's magical cheese. It's not really magic, but I can't believe it's goat butter.
The flavor is magical, let me tell you.
Can't
Well-
believe it's goat butter.
I don't believe that throwing cheese at these little creatures is going to sway them too heavily. I'm sure they have a grievance, otherwise we'd never cross with the owners of this mine. They have a happy agreement, and for something to happen, I don't think cheese is the key.
It seems strange that they would be fearful of humanoids if they're used to working with them. I mean, we approached them with no violence or aggression. We tried to communicate, and yet even still they ran in fear, so they must be quite terrified of something.
Or perhaps they send their stupidest to the end of the mine. Like, we have no idea.
If their smartest are sending their stupidest to the end of the mine, then I question the intelligence of their smartest. But I take your point, Ember.
We
Hey,
just never know.
Felix-
Those two can't speak for the whole group.
Confusing.
Felix, I forgot to ask about this.
Yes.
Did you
Mooney?
pick up the deposit from what was that place called? The bar that we were just at earlier? The farmer's like maiden or something like that. Is that what the name of the bar was?
I do not recall the name of the establishment.
There's a time limit on that, and I think I realized that we may have just I personally may have just screwed us out of that because we did put down like 2 gold to stay the night.
It is true, and if the good proprietor decides to take my gold as a deposit, that is exactly why I left it. I think this business is more pressing, but you can owe me.
Put it on my bill.
Yeah, no problem.
I get that.
But in the case of these kobolds, I think we should follow them rather quickly because the sooner that we're able to make our case, I think the better.
I see the hole that you brought us into. Can everybody see this now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the map seems to be working good.
Everybody else is caught up. No more lag. You can control your markers and everything.
I cannot control my marker for some reason, but
I can.
that could just be my personal connection.
I definitely can as well. I have control over my own body at all times. I look at my friends a little weird.
Anyways, I'm going to move forward. Somebody's going to have to do it for me because I can't.
I take my hands and I place them on Felix's arms and I pretend to walk him forward. slowly.
move.
Be
You don't know
my
how to
eyes,
work the
Felix.
wings.
I can't see you through the darkness.
I hold the torch forward and advance.
Kind of like how he's holding his sword right now.
Yep. Just like that. Anyways.
What the heck? Alright. He advances. Hopefully you guys can figure out what's going on with that character.
Dun dun.
And you reveal an area. Come back to an area that you realize is the roundabout way of getting to the top of this particular cavern. Seeing that the ground slopes up a little bit and rises gently, you ascend 10 feet above from where you were before. Looking over to your side, you see once again the area, Felix, where you had landed down and came upon the caltrops.
Ah, okay.
Nakma, maybe you should walk in backwards. Oh, wow, you already made it up here. That was quick.
That was good. Okay. So
I'm glad you thought so.
personally, I'm going to take my torch and, just keep moving forward independent of my friends until I get towards the end of this chamber because I've already been up here and I don't remember seeing too much of a threat at the time. So I want to try to move forward and reveal what's next, if possible.
I will try to stalk Felix and be basically his shadow. You guys watch our backs, alright?
Felix, you move further into the area and reveal more of the cavern.
Yeah, I'll move right to here.
As you come around the corner and approach, you see that cavern itself with various bits of fungi and mushrooms growing along the walls, stone pebbles, and scratch marks or gouges in the stone wall from mining activity. You don't see much of particular interest. And you come up upon an area where you have like that. Like that. There we go.
Okay.
And you see that there is a cliff face leading up. You can see that this particular area has a cliff face that leads up into the air, and you can kind of get the sense that beyond that is a series of other cliff faces leading up. It looks like it's a little bit of a climb to get to the top, but Nothing too terribly impossible or difficult.
So from here, there's like a series of steps that sort of go up, basically. Not steps, but like a few
Each
cliff
one-
faces. Yeah.
Each one is somewhere along the lines of 10 feet. It looks very much climbable or flyable if somebody were to be so lucky.
Inclined. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna come over here, back against the wall, and try to give a very discreet, even if I have to come here and peek around the corner without anything seeing me. And I'm gonna make a stealth check as well. Well, no, I've got a fucking torch, so that's not gonna help me. All right.
Try your best. Do it with the torch. I believe in you.
Oh
Ember,
my god, that torch is floating down the cavern.
let's go hang by the wall.
It's like people who wear camo and then high vis both at the same time.
Something wrong there.
Felix, if anything happens up there, use the magic safe word.
Of course. And it would be ridiculous if you had to remind me of that word, because my memory is perfect, so don't bother doing it.
Oh,
Thaddeus coming up behind you is like, you guys have a magic safe word? What is it?
It's turtle cheese.
Of course.
How does your friend feel about that?
You see, it's a joke because female turtles, they don't produce any milk. So there can't be any turtle cheese. That's the joke.
Right.
Yeah, don't you get it?
Yeah. We're all reptiles, not animals. Of course. I
Gotta
slapped
draw everybody
Thaddeus
a
on the
picture
shoulder.
around here.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Mission Impossible style kind of move over here and try to maintain some bit of cover and peer around and see what I can see down the passageway, if anything.
As you move down here, give me a perception check.
Okay, I will do that.
He's doing it stealthily, right?
Yeah, with torch in hand.
Sorry, I had my character sheet up, but it crashed. Boom.
$17. That's a good roll.
Yeah,
With-
buddy.
With your 17, the first thing that you notice as you come around a corner, peering to see what you can find in that offshoot, it opens up into a cavern. Of that much you're certain. You do not hear any sounds, anything that smells out of the ordinary. However, your 17 is good enough to pick up the fact that the kobolds have left a tripwire. And you see it.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and approach the tripwire and see if I can find out just exactly what kind of trap it is.
All right, give me an investigation check.
Felix, what do your eagle eyes see?
If you all will just bear with me for one brief moment, it appears as if I have discovered one of these kobold traps. I'm just investigating it now to see if I can learn the nature of it. It's not great. Can't I use like my thieves' tools or something?
Thaddeus, keep bringing up the rear with us, okay? I don't want you getting picked off by these kobolds.
No, you
They-
cannot use thieves' tools on your investigation.
They love the taste of halflings.
Anyways, there it is. Not a bad roll though. Shoot.
Kobolds love the taste of halflings, you say? That's, I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
ever heard
realize
of finger?
kobolds were capable of cannibalism.
You ever
Or
heard of?
the consumption. Oh, go on. Don't allow me to interrupt you, please.
You ever heard of halfling finger sandwiches?
No.
You
So
know, I
I
wasn't
put 'em
going to
in the
say
doorway.
anything, but I heard they really have a delicacy for the bird folk.
What makes
And I look at Felix.
what makes you say that?
Oh, that's just
Mental
what I
note:
heard.
feed the Minotaur before the adventure.
Yeah, that's oddly. Do we need to take a short rest, Snack Moss?
He's starting to look like barbecue chicken.
As you look at the tripwire is very easy to see that it goes to a sort of mechanism, which is, if anybody knows anything about tripwire, it's a piece of wood that has been cut to the shape of a hook that just barely clips onto another piece of wood that is staked into the ground, and it is activated by the power of gravity. So cutting the tripwire or knocking that piece of wood out would, leading up the wall to an overhang above you, appeared to dump buckets of something down. You don't see what's in the bucket, but you see that there is a series of wooden buckets up there.
Did you say there's buckets up there? Do they have scorpions in them? Oh my god, I could use scorpions. Guys, come on. Let's go see if there's scorpions.
I'd like to go ahead and dismantle this trap.
How would you like to do that, knowing that the trap is activated as soon as you cut the cord?
Well, I don't have to cut the cord, do I? I can basically put a little bit of slack on the. Well, putting slack on that. There's got to be a way to dismantle it. I mean, they're not gonna.
Can we see what he's doing?
Listen, Daniel doesn't know how to disarm acid traps, but Felix might. So what do you need me to roll?
What you need to do is tie off the line so that it can't feed
No,
through the mechanism.
No, just hold on.
Along the line. Wait, no. I'm the DM. You hold on.
Right.
I've got a ladder right here, guys. Like, we could just use this ladder to get the buckets. Like, look, I put the ladder against the wall and I climb up it. See, look, it's this easy.
Mooney puts a ladder against the wall and climbs up it, and he is now high enough up with his ladder. Your stupid 10-foot ladder.
Is he seriously carrying a ladder through this?
He has been carrying a ladder, yes.
Guy.
I was about to say, you don't have a ladder, but then I remember the last game we had.
Does.
He's been pushing a 10-foot ladder around.
Dragging it across the ground, that's right.
Oh my god.
Cost him like 2 gold.
Yes, you put your 10-foot ladder up against the wall. You climb up it and you can see the buckets. The buckets are filled with some kind of a liquid. Although your basic intelligence, your passive intelligence check, you do not believe that it is acid because the buckets themselves are made out of wood. And any acid not strong enough to eat through wood is hardly stronger than vinegar. So you're not really sure what is inside of it.
What's in there, Mooney? Possibly some oil, some acid? No, it's made out of wood. That doesn't make sense.
No, your passive intelligence is too low. You don't know.
I get down and I'm like, it's buckets of green stuff. I can't tell what it is, but it's not oozes. It would have just attacked me. And poison isn't skin activated, right? I'd know this as a survivalist.
Some poison can be activated through the skin. It can be absorbed right through the skin. So
Would I know this?
Says Felix, not knowing the truth.
Yeah. Of course I know the truth.
No, Felix, please tell us another
Yeah.
story about you and your comrades and how you saved them from poison activated by the skin.
Please
I
do. Go.
save them
Tell
from
us.
the poison. I created the antidote to the poison. Actually, I didn't actually do the saving. The antidote did. Don't give me any credit. I deserve none.
You truly are a hero. And I walk up to him and I slap his shoulder.
It's nothing. It's nothing. No, about this trap. I thought to disarm it in the event that we have to flee in a hurry and one of you aren't able to recall its location. But if you all think it would be fine, we could just step over it and leave it.
You think you can handle that, Mooney? Stepping over it?
Mooney, having come down from the trap to tell Felix how brave he is, only to go back up the ladder to the trap to look back at the buckets. Mooney, you see that the weird, unusual fluid on the inside is pretty much it doesn't fit much of those descriptions. And as you, Felix, are down here looking at the bottom, you see that because the trap is completely gravity activated, that by undoing Stringline at all, it's basically going to guarantee that the oil inside of the bucket spill over, that you tell Mooney that all he has to do is grab the bucket. They will not dump out.
Okay. Mooney, if you just grab onto the bucket, then the contents won't dump out when I release the trap.
What's that, Ember? I mean, Felix. Sorry, as I grab the buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Careful.
Grabbing the buckets puts slack in the tripwire, which causes the hook to engage. Tripwire is sprung, the buckets are in hand. However, part of the trap that you did not see is activated, and a poof! As feathers
Uh-oh.
are shot out of the wall all over you. However, since you were not covered in oil, it has little effect.
I just like flap my wings out and try and do like a flourish using all the feathers just to kind of make things look cool and be like, ta-da!
Oh, good job! I start to clap.
Whoa, quiet, Mooney.
Tiny chicken feathers fly all over the place, but nearly nothing adheres to you. But you see that a good collection of them do stick into the bucket.
All right. Well, take care with that
That's
bucket.
a phony
Mooney.
trap.
It looks like tar. I think I get the idea of the trap.
I love
I'm
these
starting to-
kobolds.
Yeah, I'm starting to like them a lot better, guys.
So I guess I'll go ahead and take my torch now that that little trap is disabled, unless anyone objects. And I'm gonna go ahead and fly up there. Fly up there, 30 feet or so, and see if I can figure out what's going on up on those ledges.
With Mooney having been up there already with the buckets of the oil and the torch in your hand, you were able to uncover this.
Mm.
And so you see that it's really mostly just a harmless chamber. There are a few things here and there that kind of catch your attention. You see various bits of mining and what looks like semi-precious metal deposits inside of the stonework as they glitter through the torchlight. But this chamber appears to be a dead end. Excuse me, sorry. I don't know if you heard me just burp just now. I apologize for that.
No, I didn't hear. Okay. So yeah, turning around, I'm gonna go ahead and take to the air and check out those the little cliff sides that you were talking about that are just before the tripwire.
Okay. You advance to the cliffside in the air, correct?
Yes.
Torch in hand, you begin flying up the cliffsides to see what you can see. And as you fly up one and then come to the second of two, is when suddenly, out of the darkness, three objects come careening towards you through the air. I'm going to make some attack rolls here.
Oof.
Oof.
Can you show what point he's at right now?
Sure thing. Here, let me just, this is Felix. He's right here.
Thank you.
Almost out of line of sight of you guys, but you can still see him. What is this? So we've got, okay. Try to remember my roll 20 macros or roll 20 commands. Oh god, what is it? You guys, what are the commands to roll a d20?
Oh, it's
Slash roll,
Roll.
space d20.
Yep, he got it.
that's right.
There's also a dice roller on the left side.
Nice.
I don't want that dice roller because I want to use the +4.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, there's one. There's two.
That's a miss.
And there's three.
Oh, that's 17.
3, what you can only describe as bucket. come swinging down on ropes that were attached to the ceiling that you did not
Oh
see.
shit!
And they fly at you. One of them manages to miss, but the other two connect heavily as you realize that they are full of stone, rocks,
Oh.
pebbles. They filled these wooden buckets up to be weighted. And as you get up to the top, you have just enough sight to reveal the fact that there are 3 kobolds up here who were at the ready. And you're going to take 2 attack hits. The first hit that hits you is going to be 5 damage. The second bucket of rocks is 7 damage.
Rip.
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
Hammered me.
Nailed you like Joe Pesci.
And let's roll for initiative.
All right.
Some Joe Pesci.
Oh man, these little punks, dude. All right.
Woo-wee.
I look over at him and I'm like, "Are you okay, Felix? Yeah, that one looked like it really got you."
It did smart a little bit, but I'll be fine as I like do a little barrel roll for recovery and try to save as much face as I can from just getting whammied by 2 buckets of rocks.
Do you just fall on the ground when that happens?
No, I recover.
Oh, that's good. I would laugh real hard if you fell out of the sky.
No Sky Warden has ever fallen from the sky since the conception of them, my friend. It's not
For
possible.
if you fall out of the sky, you are no longer a sky warden, right? You are now a ground warden.
As well, for those unfortunates that has happened to.
Ember got 16. Felix got 18. There's an automatic way to do this, but I don't remember, so I'm doing it manually. Mooney got 23. Oh, hey, that worked for Mooney. What the hell is a Null still doing here? Get the fuck out, Null.
Regular, no.
Thaddeus, coming up in the back, way over there, sees what's going on. He's like, "Oh, your friend just got hit by some buckets of rock." And Thaddeus. Where are you, Thaddeus? Thaddeus Thornbranch. Okay. Character sheet. Roll for initiative, Thaddeus. Oh man, this is so much more complicated than just rolling a die. There it is. Woo! Good job, Thaddeus.
Oh,
Damn.
Daddy is coming in clutch.
You still got
Thad.
dexterity at least.
Right?
Unless he doesn't have a dex bonus.
Yeah, it's +1.
Mm.
What's the matter with that, Thad?
So Thaddeus rolled a natural 1, critical miss.
The kobold.
Dang.
Oh wow.
46.
Jeez.
They win.
Still doesn't beat my 23. They're fast, but I'm faster.
All right, that should do it. I'm playing a game. Sorry, dude. I don't want that corn dog. Aw.
I'll take it.
My friends want it. Can you go get in the car and drive it to them?
Felix, how much damage have you taken with the cull traps
don't want
and
that either.
everything?
Well, I just took 12 total, and I don't know what else. What other damage did I take?
I don't know.
Caltrop.
You took like a handful.
Oh, I
like a
took like
D6
2
or something.
damage from the
Yeah.
caltrops, I think. Yeah.
Alright. All right, you got 10. You got
so-
somewhere around 10 left, yeah.
Yeah, a little less actually, like 7.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was still
Stupid
at 4.
flying buckets.
I realized I hit the wrong button. It looks to me like Felix is at 7 hit points.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just put him down to it. That's his current HP after everything.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had taken 1 damage from the flame
Yeah.
web situation, and I
Yeah.
believe Nakma, you had taken a couple, right?
I think yes, I took 2 points of damage.
Oh, that's right, because you failed to save. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mooney, you are first. These kobolds are standing at the top of this ledge. You cannot see them, but you see that these unusual buckets of rock come swinging down and club your friend in the face.
How far are they from me?
Well, you can look at it.
I'm asking if the squares are 10s or 5s.
The squares are 5.
Ah, okay. So, buckets in hand, I rush up to them.
Oh, the buckets of. Got it. Now you have 10-foot cliffs in your way, mind you.
10-foot cliffs. 10
feet here. 10 feet here. 10 feet here.
Use my bonus action to Step of the Wind. It doubles my jump, and I can make it about to, I think, this one, right? No, I can move 40. So, give me the total, please.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40. Here. Bottom of that cliff.
Cool. I can move another 40 feet.
If you dash?
You Step of the Wind.
I don't know what that means.
It's like dashing, but I can also jump.
So what, that gives you 80 movement on your turn?
Yeah, he's got to
Yep.
burn a key to do it. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I know you know that. I was just telling Jesse.
I'm going to throw this at them, on both of them, and that's my attack action. And then I'm going to run back about 20 feet. Is that how much I have left?
30 feet?
Okay. As I get up to the top, I spring and step, and I get up to the very top of this corridor, and I say, "We didn't like the oil, but you can have it," and I throw it back at them.
Okay.
Do I have
Nice.
disadvantage for an improvised attack?
Why do you have disadvantage for an improvised attack?
I'm not good with improvised weapons, of course.
Oh, okay.
Can I have my dex?
I forget. It's been such a long time since somebody did improvised weapons.
Oh, 2 10s. Well, if I get to use my dex, it's a 13 in total.
Alright, hold on. Oh, wrong one. We got that one, and we got... Okay, so 13 in total is enough to hit.
Awesome. So I drench 1 or 2 of them with this oil, and then I jump back, doing like a somersault into the fall, and I think I can land on the bottom cliff right here. That'll end my turn, and I'll try to hug the wall and like get behind it, or I could even lay down behind the ledge and see if I can get like cover from it.
Well, if I was being a stickler, I would definitely say that you take fall damage for that, but I think I'm going to give you the rule of cool here, because I'm totally picturing you going parkour Prince of Persia style, running up the wall instead of jumping the wall, the cliff faces. And as you run up there, bam, oil all over them. The 2 kobolds in the front are completely drenched in this oil, and they stand there and look at each other and look at you, and you backflip off, landing on 2 feet and a hand on the ground. Buckets at the top of the cliff face. That is your turn, Nakma.
I think other people. I rolled a 5.
Emba hasn't gone yet.
Oh, we didn't add everybody to the turn orders.
I rolled a 5. I'm last. I can't hear Chris. The music's too loud. Sorry.
You can change that on your settings, on your profile, by going over to the little cog, and it should be like master music.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem at all.
I can hear you guys.
I'm trying to lay down, and I'm like, oh god, we're not supposed to kill these guys. I just drenched them in oil. Oh, Ember! I look at Ember, I was like, Ember! What do you... I wouldn't light them on fire, they'll probably kill them!
I know, I'm just...
I fixed the initiative, and I got not where you're supposed to be. Ember, you are next.
Throw
Okay.
the bucket at him, I guess? I don't know.
Ember is going to move forward 15 and start to climb. You said it was a 10 foot. So I'm going to try to run and jump. And I'm attempting to get to right there, where I should be able to reach out and touch my friend who just took buckets of rocks to his head.
Oh, hello, Ember.
You look like you're about to die, my friend.
He is
Me?
flying,
No.
so that's a possibility.
Oh, god
I'm
damn
fine.
it.
Yeah, I'll be down in just 1 second.
Okay, I'm going to hold this heal spell until you are within reach, my friend. But that will burn my reaction.
Well, normally I'd be fine, but since it would burn your reaction and all, I think I'll just let myself come down there and be healed. Not that I need it.
Amber, do you put your arm out like a bird would land on it?
I believe it is a free action to drop to the ground, so you can. I'll go ahead and say that you can just stop flying where you are and fall to the ground, so he
Alright.
can heal you.
Yeah, rule of cool this.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be right down, and I like pass out for like 1.5 seconds and wake up about 10 feet before the ground, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it's like a bird nap. That's what
Yeah.
they call it, right? Bird nap.
yeah,
Bird
a little
nap.
bird nap, and
Alright. So Ember
bump my wings
starts.
and land.
Ember starts to chant, Holius Sanctus Xara, and he touches you as soon as his holy symbol starts to glow, and heals. And that is my turn. I will roll your healing now.
My plumage, like flushes and everything. The feathers all lift up on my body, and I'm like, "Brr." Thank
That
you,
is
Ember.
+3, so total of 7.
Total of 7 healing. I like it. The DM has to fix that, right? I can't do it.
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I don't know why you can't do it. You should be able to, but figure that out later.
As a free action, I start to yell up at these kobolds. Kobolds, you are sorely mistaken attacking us today. We are here to save you. We've heard about your plight in this mine and wish to only help. Stop fighting.
Let me give me a persuasion check.
There you go. 16. Not bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Kobold, number initiative 19. He takes off.
So I was acting at 16 initiative, I believe. Just, I don't know, don't need to retcon anything, but that's where I was.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with my initiative. It has you now at 22. I don't know. Move something up.
So, just click on the token next time when you roll initiative, and that'll throw it right on the initiative.
Oh, that's what I messed up too. That's right. So us as players do that as well. So click on our icon and then click the initiative button on your sheet. Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
One kobold runs away, but the other 2 kobolds don't get a turn until Felix. So Felix, it is your turn.
Gotta fix my map here. Sorry, I had it all chill. Okay. That's funny. That die is right over my character. There we go. I will go. I'm on the ground now. That's right. I just got healed. So I'm gonna go ahead and fly up to one of these creatures using my fly speed till I get within 10 feet of them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make an attack with my whip.
You're not really
What?
selling the whole Sanctus thing.
No, I know. And when I make the attack with my whip, I'm trying to do non-lethal damage. I'm not really trying to hurt them. It's more of like Felix kind of feels like maybe that's what these guys are used to down here. That's how they're used to being treated. So he's trying to get the idea in their head, like, hey, listen up, you know, like we could be doing much worse, but instead I'm snapping my whip in your face.
Yeah, the only way to treat them is terribly, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much
Jesus.
Well, I've tried being nice, and it's not really doing much, and so. Yeah.
So would you say like right there? 10 feet. Okay, so you can be like
That's a hit.
here.
Okay. With that. Did it roll damage or did it roll? It rolled to hit again. That sucks. Still
Click on the- click.
You have to go to your chat box over there on the right.
Oh, and then I click whip, right?
Yeah.
Nice,
Yep.
some slappy damage. That's from Mooney
7
though. Huh?
snappy. Yeah. Here, I'll roll. Boom.
Which one did you hit?
I hit the lead one, the one in front, and I'm doing non-lethal damage.
You talking about this one right here?
There were 3. What happened to him?
One of
One
them
of
got
them
a
were
run.
on. Yeah, because it was his
Oh.
turn. Way to
Oh,
wreck
okay.
on it.
Then yeah.
Well, bad enough, but you also take things belonging to me.
Okay.
It was a little too loud.
Oh, what was that?
Some kobolds, man.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and whack this fella right here with 6 snappy damage, and I tell him, the time for fighting is not now, my little friends. We're here to help you solve a problem. Stop this nonsense. Worse could be yet to come.
Fantastic. And as you do so, he falls to the ground, unconscious. Anything else, Felix?
I'll land and start putting away my whip and like putting up my hands to let this guy know, like, hey, I'm trying not to be a threat here.
The next kobold is unconscious. He's on the ground. Non-lethal damage. Falls to the ground with the whip. Snaps him in the face. He spins. Hits his head. Crack! And lies
Damn.
there motionless. The next one immediately begins taking off. It disappears into the darkness up above the next cliff face. And, oop, wrong button. Oh no. Okay. And I'm going to take a quick 1-minute break.
Okay.
And you guys are going to talk about what you're going to do with this kobold.
Okay, I
So-
run back and grab the ladder.
Alrighty.
Okay. Amber looks up and he hears the whip crack and he's like, "So Felix, how did your diplomacy work out?"
Smashing.
Excellent. Let me climb up and see what's happened.
Use
Yeah.
my ladder, Ember. It's over here on the second ledge now. Oh, Nekma, I guess, can just reach it.
Nakma
Oh
just
my
stepped
lord,
up.
you killed him! You killed him dead!
Oh no! It's that most of that blood is mine.
I get the ladder up again.
If you just look, and I like fearfully check his pulse to make
Get
sure
off
I
me,
didn't
Mooney.
kill him.
Yeah, I will attempt to spare the dying on him as soon as I get up there. Is he dead? Medicine check, spare the dying?
He's unconscious. I hope. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, dude. He's not moving. I think he looks fucking dead. Oh man.
I look up at
They're gonna
Felix.
not like this.
You cost
All
us
I did was
10
whip the
gold.
miscreant. Yeah. Damn.
Ugh, look at all this oil on him. Ugh, greasy motherfudger.
Yes.
Hmm.
We should take these buckets though.
Of rocks?
No, these ones right here. I pick up the empty buckets that had oil in them.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember what kind of wizard Thaddeus is?
Thaddeus,
He's a
Stevicus? Can you?
chronomancer.
Chronomancer.
Was it homebrew? Obviously. it was
No,
homebrew.
I thought it was the divination die, right? He's got portent dies and stuff because he's important.
Thaddeus, what kind of wizard is he, Stevicus?
Tell us. Oh, it says yes.
Div. Okay. Well, so. Yeah, so we don't know what his potents are.
Yeah, we do not.
Stevicus
don't
was
you
saying
roll them?
he should have replaced his initiative, which he could have, but we don't know what his portents are.
Yes.
So, the kobold on the ground begins to awaken.
Awaken.
He's
Awaken.
not dead.
Haha. See, I knew I didn't kill the little fellow. Hey, little buddy.
Sorry, Ember, for stepping on your toes, but I can't go anywhere else.
It's okay.
I
I'm
actually
bending
don't-
over the kobold.
I don't think I speak Draconic, so this dude just does not understand what this giant bird is saying to him at all.
I
Oh,
understand you, big stupid feathered thing.
Told you I like these kobolds.
Mooney, are you making fun of me again?
What? I'm over here. I'm looking down
Oh.
this hallway. Talk to the kobold. I think he wants to be friends with you.
Thaddeus comes up over the cliff, trying to climb up a little bit.
There's a ladder.
These ladders not made for halflings.
Hey there, little fella. Sorry about that back there. Things got kind of carried away. You threw a bucket of rocks at me.
You mean nasty thing, and I not like you.
Well, I don't know if I accept that characterization, but I do apologize for whipping you in the face. Come here. Let me take a look at that.
No, stay away. You never touch kobold.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, can you? I know you and I haven't had a chance to become the best of friends just yet, but can you tell me why you all are so scared? I know I see that you've refused to work.
Kobold, we tired working for free. We formed Kobold Union.
Ah, very smart, very smart. Not, maybe not the best decision as far as the Jarl's concerned. How did he respond to that?
Who?
The Jarl? Your
Me
boss?
Kobolds not know Jarl.
Okay. The leader,
Interesting.
the big leader, outside of this mine, you know?
Big leader.
Yeah.
Kobold slave driver. We tired of him. He
No,
comes
he-
back. We drop rocks on head.
He's come back, he's gonna kill you.
Do they not?
We will drop rocks on head. He not kill us.
You're bringing a whole army tomorrow. They're gonna wipe you guys out tomorrow morning if you don't listen to us. Oh, I mean just the leader. Sorry.
I'm afraid my friend is right. They will come, kill your leader, and probably treat you even worse after this if we can't find a way to resolve everything.
So with this union you're talking about, what is it that you would like to have done to make you happy?
Kobolds demand pay.
What would you like to be paid?
Shiny coin. Same as you. All people get paid shiny coin.
Well, have you thought about this? Do you know how much rent costs? Do you know what rent is, little thing?
Yes. Rent.
No.
Rent is what you pay a landlord for living on their land, which this is not your mine that you're living in. You realize that, right?
Then kobold dig new mine. Kobold live inland, not on land. Kobold's smart. We think of everything.
Right, and you can vacate, but in the meantime, you've been living here rent-free for a long time. So the Jarl, who is outside, just assumed you understood that you work for your rent.
Kobold have pay man to live in hole and ground, and then man lash us and beat us to force us to work?
Well, now I'm not talking about the conditions of your work. I'm just mentioning that you have been getting some sort of payment.
Persuasion check.
Yes, sir.
We may be able to help them reorganize with better benefits,
12.
right? I mean, if we all settle down and come back from a position of power, meaning the kobolds get back to work, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement with the Jarl, right? He seems sensible.
Got that impression from the Jarl?
I did
The
not
same
get
one
that
we just
impression
met?
at all.
The one who called them thralls? No, not really.
No,
Kobolds
he is going
tired
to
of
accept a head one way or the other.
Kobolds tired of beating. Kobolds no more work for free.
You shouldn't work for free.
I hold up a copper coin, and I say, "Are these the shiny coins that you all like?
Ooh.
How many of these coppers would you want to keep working?"
The kobold looks at you a little bit and looks around, and one of my children just fell down the stairs, I think. And
Sounds like a normal
Okay.
Tuesday at my house.
yeah.
I heard a couple thumps.
Quit stomping so loud. You're gonna
Thump.
upset Potter.
The kobold looks at you and looks at the coin and looks at the rest of you, and you see that he's trying to figure things out, and he slowly blinks, like with one eye just a little bit before the other eye, so it's kind of like a blink blink, and he opens them up, and you can see that he's kind of not quite getting it. Like, he wants
Sure.
to say yes, but like he's not the one calling the shots.
Yes, my scaly friend, can you lead
Right.
us to your the leader, so to speak?
You want to see Big Boss?
We would love to help negotiate on your behalf, of course.
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
We are here to help you.
How's your head, by the way? I'm very sorry about that.
Now, is this a persuasion check, or
I'm trying to
like, are you
make...
being genuine, or is this a
Yeah.
deception check?
No,
Okay.
this is a persuasion check. I'm being genuine.
I cannot
Okay.
tell a lie,
Jeez,
Sir
DM,
Jesse.
You can't tell?
Give me a persuasion check.
Can I give him assist?
No, you were the one talking.
Oh, well,
And no,
we were both talking,
Nobody
but
can give you persuasion.
okay.
No,
Well,
I'm asking for you, Sir Ember.
I rolled earlier and got a 12. Do you want me to roll again?
Yes. Oh,
Yay!
Beautiful.
19, right?
So it
17.
was actually 17 total. The one on screen is not right.
Yeah, one of them rolled for Felix.
Yeah, go
some
for the
reason.
numbers in the chat, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
screen.
17 was the roll.
Thank goodness. The other one was.
Oh, I got a different number. Like, completely. It says 19 and 8, and then Felix says 17 and 3. But let's continue past
Right.
that.
Yeah, mine too. But yeah.
I don't help you until you heal me.
Oh, you just require healing, my friend. That's fine.
I got hit in the face by Snappy Snap.
Right. Yeah, no problem. Yes, sure.
Birdman nasty.
It
Cruel,
even
cruel
says that.
thing.
Listen, friend, have you heard of my goddess, Agapelasia?
No.
Well, you will witness her power. Sanctus Holius Maximus, and I do a healing cure wounds on him.
Fantastic. How many hit points?
Well, bam.
10.
Full health. Nice.
Whoa.
Sir Kobold here. Sir Kobold the Mighty was back up to his full health
Beautiful.
of... Got it. Ooh, Kobold feel good. Ah, even take kink out of neck.
You look much better.
Okay, follow Kobold. This way, and he leads you to the far side of the cliff. then you see him scurry up the wall.
I run back and grab my ladder.
I will attempt to
And-
follow.
Mooney is gone for the next 10 minutes.
Oh.
We'll follow this kobold and continue trying to make.
Following the kobold, you see that he leads you up a cliff face, and as you follow him up, you see that the reason he moved to that side is because there is a hunter's trap on one side, poised and ready to snap off your fingers if you climb up that part of the ledge. The kobold, following behind, you see that he moves this direction now to just the other side of the hunter's trap before scurrying up the wall again, going up the wall in a zigzag motion and following
you do
behind
that?
him. Do what?
That's cool. No, that was cool.
The showing where he walks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. As he scurries up the wall some more,
Oh, I can move myself now.
scurrying up the wall some more, you see that he leaps up and over. And once again, there is another hunter's trap that he is avoiding that would have snapped off somebody's fingers. Now, the kobold, I click on the kobold, and as I move him somewhere, I push Q, 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 and Q every time I move. And it shows the path that he scurries up and how many feet he goes. And so you all continue to follow him.
Yep.
And reveal areas. And
I'm
he,
just-
as he calls up the next part of the cliff, he yells down to you, "You be careful! No trip on strings." And as you're climbing up, who's the first one up? Is it Mooney? I think no, not Mooney.
I've
it
been
was,
following.
Can I bring the
Ember
ladder
has.
up behind
Yeah.
us?
Should be
every
Taz
time
or
on one-
Felix, right?
Yeah, I think it's Felix.
Felix disappeared. Where's Felix?
Under Nakma.
Gross. There you are.
Right?
Felix
I use
I
moves
wouldn't
up.
want to be there either.
I'd like to use the ladder for each one of these ledges so that everybody who doesn't fly can make it up pretty easily, like over the ropes and whatnot.
So this is an endeavor, taking a few minutes in order for you to get up these cliffs.
Right.
But the kobold does point out to you another tripwire. And you see that this particular tripwire, Felix, now that it's pointed out to you and you're walking across, your passive picks up that it leads up to kind of a hollow spot in the ceiling. And you're able to just make out what looks like buckets of pickaxes that were ready to fall.
Oh man.
Oh, wow. It's getting nasty, folks.
And the kobold continues to run. And you continue to follow. In fact, he actually doesn't stop to wait for you. So as you are all kind of pulling up your ladder, he is running and begins to reveal some more of the cave to you.
I'm going to try to stick on the kobold, even if I have to fly to do so.
Okay?
Even if that means I leave my homies behind a little bit.
That's okay.
Ember-
We'll be behind, guys. I'll be all right. Just tell me where to go.
Ember does not have the acrobatics to do whatever he is trying to do. I don't know what you were trying to do, but it didn't work apparently.
He was trying to
That was
just
a,
step over the tripwire.
it was totally a misclick.
Okay. He continues to run, and he makes good time and good speed. Felix, you fly, pursue after him. Before you finally
If
get to it.
Kobold kill you, maybe Kobold find more metal thingies.
Yeah, that. Rick and his kobold voice
Sorry.
chat thing.
Soundbar.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to use this with the kobolds.
Ooh.
He comes up to an area and starts speaking in Draconic, and he's like, "Ooh, and some hushed whispers return to him, and they all kind of look in your direction. And two of the kobolds who were waiting, and you see that they have two large clay jars in their hand, raised up overhead as if ready to throw them down the cliff, just kind of stare at you.
Ember does understand Draconic.
So what you heard, Ember, is that the kobold is saying basically, "Talky, weird thingy, Birdman, not nice, but want speak to boss. He bring us copper coin?" And the other kobolds are like, you see that they're kind of the wheels turning and they're processing in their mind. They're trying to think about what's going on, and they are poised at the ready, but they don't do anything.
Okay, so I'm assuming
Okay.
we all come up to that spot eventually.
Thaddeus, Nagmo, and Mooney are still making their way up. They have not made it quite all the way yet. Having to, this guy was running basically, and Mooney wants to put a ladder on every single cliffside and wait for people to climb up. So
I
it's gonna
love it.
be, it's a minute. It's not 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but it's at least a minute before Mooney and the rest catch up.
Once we get there, I look over at Felix and I see a wound, like his arm is kind of broken or something, and I say, in Draconic, I said, "Dear kobolds, witness the power of my lord," and I cast another Cure Wounds on Felix.
Yeah, I hold out my outstretched arm, and it's just it looks bad.
9 more points of healing. I'll do it.
Cool.
You'll be all fluffy again, Felix.
Yeah.
Like you took a nice bird bath. Some
You're
crystal
maxed
water.
out.
I'm still terribly sorry about that hand, man. How's it feeling?
You know, I still feel some phantom pains once in a while, but this new hand is pretty fabulous. Not gonna lie.
Kobolds back away. Mooney, Nakma, and Thaddeus begin to approach, finally catching up. The kobolds are up on the cliff. They're kind of talking down. Felix, you're up in the air. You can see them still. And they say, "We talk to Big Boss. Only one of you come. You rest stay. No follow."
Yes, arrest does sound very good. I start sitting down.
I'll gladly follow them if nobody else, unless you want to, Ember.
Well,
Ember, you do speak Draconic.
Yeah.
They do not
I'm
wait
not
for
very
an answer.
charismatic.
They do not wait for an answer, and they quickly disappear up the cliff face and around a corner.
Well, that one speaks common, so I've got a little bit of a charisma.
I'm sure they all speak common. Go ahead, Felix. You have our best interest
Alright.
in mind.
I'll head in. I'll start following. Fly up.
Okay. Felix, you fly up. As you fly up, going in the same direction that the kobolds had gone, you begin to reveal the next part of this area. It looks to you that this part of the chamber was probably once their living quarters, as you see a bunch of trash lying around, but for the most part, not a lot. It looks like they were living here and moved out. And then you see that there is a tunnel in one of the walls, and it looks like they tunneled their way out of their normal, typical living chamber to wherever it is that they are living now. As you had flown up, you also see that one of the ledges was trapped with another large cluster of caltrop. The path that you see in front of you that they have tunneled through is only large enough for a small creature to fit in. You can get in there yourself, but you will be unable to walk and you will have to crawl in order to get through the tunnel.
Okay. Do I also see this green stuff, or is that not something that I'm supposed to be seeing?
Oh, you see that green stuff.
So I definitely would like to check that out and see if that's something that I should be putting my body in.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check.
Like investigation or just straight intelligence?
It's an intelligence check. This is not investigation.
Okay. Hey.
It's
Nice, buddy.
It is slippery and oily and appears to be some sort of oil.
Does it seem to be flammable?
It does smell like lantern oil.
Shoot. Okay. Um, well, I'm gonna go. There's nothing to it but to do it. So I'm gonna get down on my hands and knees, and I'm gonna go ahead and start squeezing through, and hope to God they don't roast me alive in here.
Crawling through the. Oh, you can move yourself now, can't you? I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Crawling through, you begin to uncover areas and you come to the end of a tunnel. And it is a slow process as you eventually uncover parts of the tunnel. Come to a corner, you have to move around. You're going to go further? There you go.
Yep.
You come to a corner, you take another peer around. Are you still carrying your torch, by the way?
No,
I
I'm in.
assume.
That's
I
why
do.
I asked if it was flammable. I'm in
Yeah,
darkness at this point, so
you cannot see
Yeah,
in
you
darkness,
got rid of
can
it.
you?
no, no, I cannot
So
see in darkness.
So at this point, you're really just feeling the walls
Yep.
of the cave, trying to find your way through. You do hear the sound of the kobolds on the other end, and it continues to lead you down, and you get further and further. You move more.
Yeah. Is all right. I'm gonna move to about here,
Yeah.
and I'd like to just kind of take a minute and see if I can get a perception of my surroundings, just with, what limited senses that I have, my hearing, my smell. Obviously, my sight's limited, so.
The sound of the kobolds is louder. The sound of your friends is much quieter. You know that you're getting closer.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep moving forward then.
It's too tight, guys. I can't get through here.
Moving forward, you come to another turn, and you begin to see something what looks like a light source shining through the tunnel. Before you finally come to an area, and you can see that the end of the tunnel is complete with bars on it, some sort of primitive gate. And on the other side, caltrops are dropped down. The gate itself is secured with a chain, and up at the top, you see that on a ledge, standing looking down, waiting for you, is a kobold with the most unusual looking robes and decoration upon him that you have ever seen. Uh, let's see what this does. Can you see what the kobold looks
Super
like?
cool.
Yep,
There you
I
are.
see him. Mm-hmm.
Although you're not supposed to see all of his special abilities.
Nope, I've got it covered. I ain't looking. I'm just looking at his
He's looking at the
amazing
picture.
self. Yeah.
Well, there you are. That is the kobold that you see standing on the cliff face. He is looking down at you on the other side of these bars, and he, well, what's your insight?
My insight is, it's written on there. 12. Passive insight is 12.
You don't know what this kobold is thinking. You just see him standing up on this ledge, and he is standing tall, and he appears to be standing more proud than the other kobolds. And he comes to the edge, and he speaks to you in common. You, what you want with kobold?
It's
Greetings.
a beautiful kobold that I can't see.
Greetings, Kobold King. I can only presume by your regal self that you are the king?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, kobold king.
Of course.
King kobold.
One with your presence could only be a king. And to what name may I address you?
Croc.
King Croc. What a lovely name. My name is Felix. It's a pleasure to meet you. I love what you've done with the place. Such a fantastic entryway. May I come in?
No.
Fine. Very good. Very good. I've come all this way. Be a shame to have to huddle here in the oily cavern, but no, it's fine. It's fine. Um, you
I
see,
like you down there. You tall
I
people. Finally, you know your place. On hands and knees in front of King Kobold.
I thought that there was something to the symbolism here. You know that everyone out there is pretty upset with you and your kobolds, don't you?
They never come in.
Well, they will be soon, King. Soon you will have an army at your doorstep of tall ones.
We deal with those tall people too. The tallness will be brought low to Kobold. No
Well,
more will Kobold feel the sting of lash and whip. You
yes,
get an uneasy feeling as you notice that the kobold is staring at the whip to your side.
um, I try to adjust my body so that it's like not really seen, and I say, we spoke with one of your subjects earlier. He said that you all would like to be paid for your work. No more lashes, no more whips. Is that what would fix things here?
No more lashes, no more whips. No more lashes, no more whips. The rest of the kobolds begin joining in a chorus. You hear the sounds of what sound like at least a dozen kobolds in the cavern. No more lashes, no more whips. No more lashes, no more whips. And an echoing chanting is heard throughout the cavern. It echoes down the tunnel, and you begin to hear "No more lashes, no more whips" coming through to the other end. Mooney, Nickel, Ember, and Thaddeus.
So while I'm talking, can I please? This is scary. How is this gate shut? Is it locked? Is it barred? What am I looking at?
It has a chain lashed around two of the iron bars on here. Though the gate itself is pretty crude, it does look to be pretty sturdy for what it is. And the chain is held together by what look like slave shackles that have been shackled around the bars to hold it in place.
Uh, I take very carefully one hand and I reach it over to the side where he's obviously staring at my whip, and I say, "These are this is the thing that you hate, that you've suffered so much damage from, I presume, right?" As they're all chanting. And I
The
try to
kobold, he raises his hand up in the air, and the chanting just stops. It dies off very slowly, and then he just stares at you. You see now that the kobold is holding in one hand something that looks to be like an arcane implement, and for the first time, you notice that there is a bit of fire in his eyes.
Oh no.
fire in his eyes. Yeah, that's great. Um, can I please? I'd like to try to pick this lock, but I want to do it with sleight of hand. I'm gonna kind of scoop forward, throw the whip through the bars, and use that motion to get close enough, hopefully, and disguise my movements to try to pick this lock.
Give me a stealth check.
Cool.
I'm sorry, did I say stealth? Um,
You did.
I meant sleight of hand because that's what you were asking for.
Yep.
You rolled a 14.
That was stealth, but yeah.
Go ahead and keep your 14, and then just hit the sleight of hand thing, and we will apply your 14 to your that. So it's the same thing plus 6.
It's
So
the same.
yeah, it would be a 20 one way or the other.
Mhm.
Good job.
Yeah, nice hands.
Very nice feathery hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have feather hands or do you have wings?
No, I have feather hands. I have arms and hands and wings. Unlike
So
Nice.
yeah.
the tricky part is that these shackles are facing away from you on the other side of this thing, and that you have to. It takes two hands to pick a lock, and let's take a look here at this kobold. Okay.
Do you do something to distract him while you're
I
picking this
continue
lock?
to
Right.
talk. Uh, Kobold King, I am told that you all have formed a union, and I would be happy to support that endeavor. I would speak on your behalf.
He's
This
got
is
bird
not
talons. Can he use a bird talon in his regular hand as the two pieces? Maybe his left hand is laying on the bars, and his bird foot kind of comes up to and helps his right hand pick the lock.
This isn't Looney Tunes.
Right.
I think it's about to be, though, to be honest.
They can hold swords, right? Oh man.
Um, look, I didn't.
Yeah,
Died.
I got distracted. What did you say, Felix?
he's
Uh,
he's trying to sleight of hand pick the lock in order to unlock it, but
Yeah, only because I think this guy isn't listening to me. So I'm
well,
still trying to talk to him, but at the same time, you said
okay.
there's fire in his eyes and there's oil everywhere, so I need a plan B.
Okay, so here is your saving grace because of like the audacious situation that you're in, trying to pick this lock without him noticing, while throwing a whip through when you're crawling on basically your belly through this hole in the ground. He notices you. He does. He really notices you. So let me just say that are you proficient in thieves?
Yeah.
You are.
Mhm.
Okay. Give me a God in order to pick a lock that fast. However, this isn't like the most fancy lock of all time. I'm gonna say thieves' tools check 15 in order to get this thing open.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So he sees you trying to pick the lock, but because of the difficult situation,
That's funny.
you were not able to pick. The
Go ahead.
kobold sees what is going on. Immediately, he takes an action. Between you and I, roll for initiative.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't
Like
think
chicken
he was
tonight.
listening. Yeah.
He goes first, and he unleashes a firebolt right into the ground in front of you, which catches the oil immediately into a burst of horrible fire. And
Well, hold on. He can't shoot me. He can't shoot oil with a firebolt. He could shoot me with a firebolt, but not oil.
no firebolt, fine, whatever. He shoots you with it. He uses prestidigitation to ignite kindling on the ground.
Oh shit! Oh no!
There's a loophole
Oh
for you, Danny.
no!
Anyways, he can do firebolt. I was wrong. Creature or object. Go ahead.
um,
That's
Well,
what you
fuck.
can get for fucking with the DM.
It was good knowing you, Felix.
Dang it.
where is my special effect here?
I
had a
seen it.
special effect.
Holy
It's
Get
on-
it
Oh,
off.
is it?
It's
shit.
on
Is it-
Twitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
it's
see
right
it.
there
Off,
for you?
buddy. Yeah.
Oh, because I can't see it. So.
Oh, I see it.
Well, it's a good thing
There
I
we
spent
go.
so many spell slots getting you to full health.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's great because I can't see it, so I'm glad it's there.
I
It
see it. It's
explodes,
awesome.
and the oil just erupts into fire and starts coursing down this tunnel and snaking its way back to the entrance. And you start your turn into fire. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw as you try to stay out of the burning oil while you're basically crawling.
Do a barrel
So
roll.
Stevicus is saying Thaddeus can force a reroll.
Yeah,
Thaddeus cannot see what's
Yeah.
going on at the end of this.
Okay.
you guys know.
Just making that
we-
clear to him.
Yeah, it's only things he can see, right?
A 12. Hey, good news. A 12 is enough that you only take half damage at the
Okay.
beginning of your turn. Which 3? So you only take 1 fire damage at the beginning of. Did I have that right? Or was
Rolling the
it 2?
big tens. I like it.
No, not. Wait, no. I'm sorry. I have my notes wrong. We're gonna keep that 3.
And add 2 more 3s.
Close.
Oh,
Uh,
close enough.
13, 14, 15, 16. Half of 16 is 8. You take 8 fire damage.
Ouch.
Oh lord.
Okay.
Biscuits are burning.
That is your turn, Felix. What would you like to do?
okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pick this lock again. It seems like it's the only thing that I can possibly do because I am not crawling out of this madness.
Okay.
I die.
Yeah.
12 is not enough to pick the lock. It is the beginning of your turn. You will now make another Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. The one thing a thief is supposed to be good at, and I can't do it while I'm being burned alive.
Oh, go figure.
So the fire traveled all the way down to us yet?
In the course of these 2 turns, yeah,
Yes.
it's about right now that you see the glow of fire coming through this area. Con save, you take half damage.
You just hear Mooney get up off his ass and start yelling out, Felix!
That's a minus 11 damage to you, sir. You're down to 3. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to have the rest of you jump
See
in.
it.
You see the fire has coursed its way through the tunnel and smoke is beginning to billow out. The glow of orange can be seen down at the end, and you see that the oil itself is erupting into flame and coming through. You know that you're quite safe because you're not standing in any oil yourself, but you
Yeah.
see what's going on. Do you have anything you want to do?
Is the fire down?
What?
Can we roll initiative?
No, it's coming at us still. Nakma's looking at Ember thinking there's no Felix in that fire anymore.
Okay. Mooney, anything? Amber?
Yes, there's something I'd do. I need 1 second.
Thaddeus tries to put his hands basically in front of Ember and Mooney. He moves up a little bit and says, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's too late. Nobody could survive that. I'm afraid that your friend is most likely gone, and it's suicide to go in there.
Yes, I know fire well.
Wonder what happened.
It doesn't, I mean, this tunnel goes beyond where we can see. We don't even know how long it goes.
I can't get in there no matter what. It's too small.
It would be difficult indeed. Difficult still. I for one am not crawling through that inferno.
Okay, so I know what I want to do. In this time, while you guys have all been talking, I rummage my bag for the 8-ball. I finally get it, and I pull it out. And I take the ball, and I start shaking it up as fast as I can. I start saying, is Felix still alive at the end of this corridor?
As you do so, an image, a spectral image of a ghost-like bird, Aarakocra, is erupting in blue flame as it fumbles with the lock, desperately trying to undo it on the other side. You basically see this Aarakocra screaming out and like shaking the chains and rattling it desperately, but it does not look good.
Does anybody have a healing potion? Does anybody have a healing potion?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
I do.
All right,
Here.
give it here.
Here.
I step of the wind.
Okay. Step of the wind. You burn
What
a
are
key
you
point.
doing, you crazy animal?
And this gives you double your movement, correct? What does Step of the Wind do? Can you link it?
No.
All right. So quick Google search here. What is Step of the Wind?
It allows him to dash as a bonus action.
Okay.
What is your
Annoying.
end game here, Mooney?
He's gonna fart his way through town. Step into the wind.
Should have just let this bird cook.
1 key point to disengage or dash as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. Got it.
Nice. I had chicken for dinner. It's not bad.
This is all difficult terrain because you have to basically crawl to get in here.
Fuck, I couldn't make it if I wanted to.
He couldn't.
Okay. That brings us back to Felix. Constitution saving throw, beginning of your turn.
The beginning of my turn. Okay.
I mean,
Here we
you don't know how long the tunnel is, though, Mooney.
He doesn't.
I don't.
No, we do not.
Not that I want you to go in there. Please, Mooney, don't go in there.
I'm only gonna make so many of these.
That is a fail.
Yeah.
Pakak.
How long would it take for this to go out?
You're going to take
Too long.
18 fire damage.
Well, we know what that means.
The fire continues burning for a couple of minutes.
Chicken
It's
tonight.
It's not a short fire. The smoke, you would think, would kind of burn it out, but it seems to keep it burning lower and longer as it struggles to get oxygen. And a whooshing feeling can be felt before you as the wind from the tunnel is sucked into this area and tries to feed the flame in front of you. But it's a
Jesus.
good 5 minutes as this fire continues on before it finally burns out enough. The rock and everything around here is hot enough that you can feel the heat of it still as the rest of the oil finally burns down. Well, it appears that the oil has extinguished itself. I believe we might be able to go in there if we really feel like we need to. Although, I understand if you want to retrieve your comrade's remains. At this point, I feel it might be best if we just leave this to somebody else.
Mooney feels devastated because, once again, another one of his friends has died because of him.
What do we do now?
The corridor's too small for me to fit.
You could fit in there if you squeezed. But you're not going to be going anywhere very quickly. If they have any more nasty traps in that corridor.
Thaddeus, do you have any way to make our large friend invisible?
Oh, excellent question. I, check my spell book here real quick.
So, if I go in there and
You
if I
lop his
see
head off
roasted
and take
chicken
it home.
on the ground, am I killing whomever did this to our new friend?
Yes, you must kill that leader. If that's what happened. They lured us in under false pretenses to negotiate and then just slaughtered him. If that happened, we must get retribution.
Good news is I do have invisibility prepared for today.
Well,
I can cast the spell.
if I were, I don't know, we could also rest. I'm also quite spent. But we could go in now,
Mooney,
Nakma.
Mooney, I know that the Birdman meant something to you. If you would like, I could cast invisibility on you and, well, hopefully you could see what has become. If there's a chance he is still alive. Perhaps he had made it out. Would you at least like to see?
Yes.
Alright, hold still. Thurma, Avike, Jakose! And a shimmer goes over Mooney as he fades out of existence. Mooney, you look down and you can see through your body. There is no visible outline to you whatsoever.
I put down the head and all of my stuff, and I try to put down anything that would get in the way. Removing my mask. They all become visible, I guess, as they come off me as I start shedding. I leave my spears. I take just the stone knife I have with, and I begin to crawl down the tunnel, like arm over arm, as I place the knife in my teeth.
Like pirate Navy SEAL style, you guerrilla crawl through this small crawl space, trying to approach the end. Using nothing but your dark vision, you're able to navigate your way as you go down, turn the corner, another corner, and another corner. And then that's when
Hold on. I would like to just follow, actually, but wait like 30 seconds before I go in.
keeping your distance behind Mooney, you keep at least 20 feet between you and him as the two of you crawl through.
It'll take me longer, Nakma longer, because he doesn't have dark vision or anything like that to see.
Ditto for me.
Okay. And you come around the corner, finally, is where you find your Arakokra friend, roasted, before a set of iron bars.
I slowly take what I can from, and then I start slowly pulling him with me back out as quiet as I can.
Okay. You do not see any kobolds in there as you get to the gate. It appears that they believe that they sent their message. So, as you get up to the end, you find Felix, and you are able to grab him and begin the difficult task of pulling him backwards through the tunnel.
I come backwards, and all of a
sticks in
sudden
here.
I feel a giant horn ram into my tail.
Yep. Hey, watch where you're putting that thing.
Quiet. I got Felix. Let's go.
Man. How is it? I can't see anything.
I can't either, so can you please start walking backwards? I'm very uncomfortable in here, and I'm holding Felix's body.
There's
Okay.
nothing left to burn in this. There's nothing left to burn in here. We could have just stayed where we were.
You pull
God,
Felix out.
It's horrible.
It's absolutely devastatingly horrible.
crispy.
The feathers and everything on the outside of Felix has been charred black. You can only hope that he died of the smoke inhalation and passed out before feeling the horrible pain that he no doubt would have experienced from burning alive. Poor Felix didn't have much of a chance.
Rest easy, friend.
How about we take a break?
Break time.
It's a good time for a break.
Okay.
Lost a character.
Time to take a breather.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Sorry,
Stay
I keep
tuned.
doing this to you all.
It's beginning to be it's like a trope now.
Yeah, you barely recovered from the last death, and you know the funny thing is like none of my characters ever died before, but recently, so
Recently?
bad.
Memphis.
2 in a row.
Yeah, okay, Memphis, but since Memphis, I haven't lost.
He's
Well,
like, I'm
that
gonna make
is
this next
awesome.
character even more lovable, and then die horribly.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
hey, they're only gonna get more
Jeez.
lovable from here. I can tell you that.
Sucky.
But anyways, yeah, break time. Yay.
Okay.
All right,
Stay
we'll be
tuned,
back in a
everyone.
minute.
All right.
TNT.
Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventurers. Fresh off of their victory in Fiolta, they now find themselves in a town called Hammer's Rest. Unable to resist paying the Jarl a visit, our heroes headed towards his longhouse. Expecting another sturdy man or woman of the north, they were met instead with a brazen half-orc. Like most Jarls, this one also had a problem. The kobolds that kept his mining operation running had formed a rebellion and were refusing to work. The Jarl had promised a bloodbath should the creatures continue in their rebellion. Kind Mooney was unable or unwilling to leave them to their fate. So, you guessed it, my little heretics. Big damn heroes that they are, they've decided to save the kobolds. How noble. Upon arrival, they were greeted by 2 guards. That big, ridiculous bird, Felix Faustus, tried to reason with the poor creatures. They listened to his shrill squawkings, then fled deeper inside. Our Arctic adventurers followed suit. I must confess, my little lovelies, not even I know what awaits them down there. And of course, last but not least, there's the matter of a time traveler in their midst. A curious halfling by the name of Thaddeus. He claims to have the noble goal of fixing the timeline. Well, if there's one thing I've learned over the millennia, my little heretics, it's that many are the fools who have sought to alter time. What they all fail to remember is that time, much like the devil, must be held well. Neither will hardly be caught a second time. Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventurers. Fresh off of their victory in Fiolta, they now find themselves in a town called Hammer's Rest. Unable to resist paying the Jarl a visit, our heroes headed towards his longhouse. Expecting another sturdy man or woman of the north, they were met instead with a brazen half-orc. Like most Jarls, this one also had a problem. The kobolds that kept his mining operation running had formed a rebellion and were refusing to work. The Jarl had promised a bloodbath should the creatures continue in their rebellion. Kind Mooney was unable or unwilling to leave them to their fate. So, you guessed it, my little heretics. Big damn heroes that they are, they've decided to save the kobolds. How noble. Upon arrival, they were greeted by 2 guards. That big, ridiculous bird, Felix Faustus, tried to reason with the poor creatures. They listened to his shrill squawkings, then fled deeper inside. Our Arctic adventurers followed suit. I must confess, my little lovelies, not even I know what awaits them down there. And of course, last but not least, there's the matter of a time traveler in their midst. A curious halfling by the name of Thaddeus. He claims to have the noble goal of fixing the timeline. Well, if there's one thing I've learned over the millennia, my little heretics, it's that many are the fools who have sought to alter time. What they all fail to remember is that time, much like the devil, must be held well. Neither will hardly be caught a second time. Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventurers. Fresh off of their victory in Fiolta, they now find themselves in a town called Hammer's Rest. Unable to resist paying the Jarl a visit, our heroes headed towards his longhouse. Expecting another sturdy man or woman of the north, they were met instead with a brazen half-orc. Like most Jarls, this one also had a problem. The kobolds that kept his mining operation running had formed a rebellion, and were refusing to work. The Jarl had promised a bloodbath should the creatures continue in their rebellion. Kind Mooney was unable or unwilling to leave them to their fate. So, you guessed it, my little heretics. Big damn heroes that they are, they've decided to save the kobolds. How noble. Upon arrival, they were greeted by 2 guards. That big, ridiculous bird, Felix Faustus, tried to reason with the poor creatures. They listened to his shrill squawkings, then fled deeper inside. Our Arctic adventurers followed suit. I must confess, my little lovelies, not even I know what awaits them down there. And of course, last but not least, there's the matter of a time traveler in their midst. A curious halfling by the name of Thaddeus. He claims to have the noble goal of fixing the timeline. Well, if there's one thing I've learned over the millennia, my little heretics, it's that many are the fools who have sought to alter time. What they all fail to remember is that time, much like the devil, must be held well. Neither will hardly be caught a second time. Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventurers. Fresh off of their victory in Fiolta, they now find themselves in a town called Hammer's Rest. Unable to resist paying the Jarl a visit, our heroes headed towards his longhouse. Expecting another sturdy man or woman of the north, they were met instead with a brazen half-orc. Like most Jarls, this one also had a problem. The kobolds that kept his mining operation running had formed a rebellion, and were refusing to work. The Jarl had promised a bloodbath should the creatures continue in their rebellion. Kind Mooney was unable or unwilling to leave them to their fate. So, you guessed it, my little heretics. Big damn heroes that they are, they've decided to save the kobolds. How noble. Upon arrival, they were greeted by 2 guards. That big, ridiculous bird, Felix Faustus, tried to reason with the poor creatures. They listened to his shrill squawkings, then fled deeper inside. Our Arctic adventurers followed suit. I must confess, my little lovelies, not even I know what awaits them down there. And of course, last but not least, there's the matter of a time traveler in their midst. A curious halfling by the name of Thaddeus. He claims to have the noble goal of fixing the timeline. Well, if there's one thing I've learned over the millennia, my little heretics, it's that many are the fools who have sought to alter time. What they all fail to remember is that time, much like the devil, must be held well. Neither will hardly be caught a second time. Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventurers. Fresh off of their victory in Fiolta, they now find themselves in a town called Hammer's Rest. Unable to resist paying the Jarl a visit, our heroes headed towards his longhouse. Expecting another sturdy man or woman of the north, they were met instead with a brazen half-orc. Like most Jarls, this one also had a problem. The kobolds that kept his mining operation running had formed a rebellion, and were refusing to work. The Jarl had promised a bloodbath should the creatures continue in their rebellion. Kind Mooney was unable or unwilling to leave them to their fate. So, you guessed it, my little heretics. Big damn heroes that they are, they've decided to save the kobolds. How noble. Upon arrival, they were greeted by 2 guards. That big, ridiculous bird, Felix Faustus, tried to reason with the poor creatures. They listened to his shrill squawkings, then fled deeper inside. Our Arctic adventurers followed suit. I must confess, my little lovelies, not even I know what awaits them down there. And of course, last but not least, there's the matter of a time traveler in their midst. A curious halfling by the name of Thaddeus. He claims to have the noble goal of fixing the timeline. Well, if there's one thing I've learned over the millennia, my little heretics, it's that many are the fools who have sought to alter time. What they all fail to remember is that time, much like the devil, must be held well. Neither will hardly be caught a second time. Hello, my little heretics. Thought you'd seen the last of me, didn't you? Well, as it turns out, that's just simply not the case. You see, when a devil like me finds his way into your life, there really is no such thing as the end. Which brings me, of course, to our Arctic adventure.
And we're back. That we have had time to process a character death. It it was grisly. It was a bad death. No, it was a good death
Glorious.
and a glorious death, but it was a brutal death. And so you stand here with the remains of Felix at the entrance of a crawl space, trying to decide what to do next.
Rest now, Sky Warden. The skies have lost another star.
I didn't know him that well, although
Yeah.
considering that he was not involved in the time anomaly with Primus, I can say that he was a lot better than the rest of you, and that the world is worse off without him.
Well, it lasted longer than the last human. I mean,
I pick up
Wait.
his hand.
never mind. So tired of losing people.
I place it into my belt.
I
You
just
take
don't.
his hand.
Yeah, the robot one.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I just
Yeah, I'm
don't
keeping that.
understand. We
I
came
start
here.
staring at my hand that has the fucking loop on it. I look over at Ember. I'm like, Ember, I think I can get rid of it.
Get rid of what?
The tag. That I won't be tagged and bagged anymore.
Your priorities
Are
need to
you
be shifted,
serious?
my friend.
Sorry, the madness of losing another one of my friends.
Right. I just don't understand. We came here to negotiate on a good pretenses, and they burn him
did.
alive. What kind of creature does that?
Kobolds, apparently.
Warning.
One that doesn't like good pretenses.
Shoot first, ask questions later. I say you slaughter them all, you all hear a voice.
I'm losing my mind now. My God. Primus, is that you?
Felix?
That's me.
As you
Well-
stare on, you see that the spirit of Felix rises up out of the body and begins to ascend up into the air. Its ghost-like glow, and you begin to wonder: will Thaddeus' spirit be trapped here for eternity? Will he haunt this place, or is he simply moving on? Felix's spirit is able to make eye contact with all of you, but only briefly, as you notice that even now he begins to fade and only has a few seconds to say his final words.
Fly be free, my friend.
Felix, is there anything you want us Now you're dead.
Jack, Mom,
Yes.
your parents never loved you. Mooney,
You dick.
Mooney, my dear friend Mooney, do not chop off your own hand. You will regret it. I promise you. That mechanical hand, it's cold comfort on lonely nights.
It's just gross.
Mooney
Ember,
doesn't get that at all.
Ember, you've been a good friend to me, and if I see your lord or your lady, I apologize. When I make my way to heaven, I'll be sure to say hello.
Please do. You will be avenged.
Thaddeus?
Oh, final words for me.
Thaddeus, my friend, I don't know you very well, but I hope that when all this is said and done, you and your Lord Primus will have found a measure of peace in this crazy timeline. Also, don't trust Mooney.
Never have, never will.
He's
Now,
he's the
rest,
reason you're here.
rest now, gentle spirit. Wait, what? And Felix
And I
begins
just
to disappear. What do you mean he's the reason?
Namaste. I reach down and I close his eyes, like I try to, but like his fucking eyelids like come off. Oh, this is grisly. Is there anything I should try to salvage from Felix, guys? We can make like, oh, I got an idea. And I'm like, what if I put his feet on the bottom of my spear? Is that too grisly?
No, actually, fortunately, he left his pack behind when he dropped all of his things.
That's right.
The good news is that all of his winter equipment was not burnt up in the fire in order to survive the snowy abyss.
Oh my god, are you saying that we could have used the winter equipment as like fucking fire clothes? Jesus.
No,
Oh, the horrible irony.
I doubt it.
I grab my face.
He's not listening to me at all, is he? Does he do this often?
Yes, it's quite hard to get information across. Yes, so we do put all that into our backpacks and carry it out.
Well, do we continue or do we get out of here while the rest of us still draw breath?
Well,
Ah,
if it were
I
me,
don't know, Ember.
I think we should just go, take a sleep, wake up in the morning, come in with the god, and kill them all.
Ah, fantastic. About the guard letting to do the work part, that is. Hey, bright side, we
Yeah.
didn't kill anyone, so we don't owe anyone any money.
True.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe he will let us help kill them with the guards.
Let's just go back to the Jarl and tell him there ain't no negotiating with these dirty kobolds and be on our way.
Sounds
Just get
great.
out of here.
I'll see
Nice.
you all later.
Oh. I will wrap this burned corpse of Felix in my sleeping pack and blankets and tie him up with some rope and like a mafia, you know, when he's carrying him around with like in those plastic bags, right? I'll just put Felix over on my shoulder and we'll walk out.
All right.
You pack up everything, gather up Felix's belongings and Felix's remains, and
Yep.
you make do to escape the rest of the mine. You find
Follow
yourself.
me. I know the way out.
Excuse me. You find yourselves back in the outside city of Hammer's Rest. You are able to make your way back towards the tavern where you had been before and find that you still have rooms set and reserved for you. The tavern keep sees you. Oh, welcome. I honestly, I didn't think you'd be back. I've got all of your rooms all set and ready for you.
Much
Sounds good,
appreciated.
Thank you.
And so you lie down take to your rooms, rest for the night. As you are lying down and resting in the comfort of a warm, heated room, a fire crackling to the side inside of its hearth, comforting blankets in bed, bed warmers, a feather down, you reflect on what you've been through lately, and
Absolutely.
you reach level 4.
All right.
What does it look like? Nakma,
Hold on.
Ember,
It comes to me in a dream. All I see is a spinning starfish with more intricate designs. As my holy symbol, I unlock the next phase of my engravings. And that's so as soon as my eyes pop open, I grab my woodworking tools and I start engraving those symbols before I forget them.
Mooney,
I see my master, and to anybody who's looking at it, it's just kind of like a muted face, or I'm looking at him yelling at me like from far away, and it's just him, and he's just like, "You are weak. You see, Taz? He's dead because of you. You see all those people that died inside of the town of Dragonsport? They're dead because of you. You're weak. You keep letting people die." And then I cut back to like the side of the ghostly image of like sorry, I'm forgetting his name already. Jesus, Felix, burning alive, trying to like open up this this cage, and it's like, "You're too weak to run through that fire. If you were stronger, you would have made it. You're weak." I'm like, "No, Master, where are you going? No, Master." I wake up in
Nice.
sweat.
Felix the burning bird stops clutching at the iron bars and looks over, and like with fire in his
Oh, no.
eyes, only his black sockets of his eyes have melted out of his skull, and he looks over and his beak moves just enough for you to hear in amongst the roaring fire. "Why weren't you stronger, Mooney? Why didn't you try harder? Why? You let everyone down." And then you wake up.
Okay. Nakma, he is also sleeping through this, and he's just having what appears, if anybody's awake and watching, to be a horrible nightmare. It's his life from the time that the explosion in his of the time of him, the hand puppets in the fire is just flashing through his mind as fast as it possibly can, everything up to this moment, and then it starts turning and fading into bright flashes of lights and color, and the flashing gets brighter and feels hotter, and then it starts to, for him, smell electrical, and it's stormy, and it's just raging storms in his mind, and that's what he's visualizing, and he just wakes up out of a cold sweat and jumps up and just yells, "Rah! Oh my god," and just stands there and looks.
As you leap up out of bed and onto your feet, ready for conflict, you look about.
Yes.
The shadows on the wall begin to dance from the lantern and the dying light of the flickering flame, casting strange, stretched silhouettes upon the timbered walls. And as you look about, you begin to hear a little bit of a voice. "Oh, been a while since you and I had spoken. Last I had seen you, you let your family burn." That's right, Nakma. I was not just your imagination that night. Enjoy this gift.
Nakma smashes his fist against the wall, hearing this.
As you do so, the lantern falls to the ground, the vibration
fuck.
shudders. The lantern does not burst the room into flames, but instead sputters itself out and puts itself out before any of the oil ignites, and just a whispering voice can be heard in the complete darkness of the room. "You still have a part to play." And that's your night.
Nakma, in anger and frustration and the voice in his head and smashing the wall, he leaves and goes outside in the cold air.
As you do so, you notice that there is a figure up against the wall of one of the buildings. You ignore the figure for the most part as you step out into the cold, but this figure moves away from the wall and begins approaching, cloaked and dark in the shadows.
I still ignore. I observe the presence, but Nakma just wants to go outside right now, and nothing's going to stop him from stepping outside that door.
Right. And you're outside, and this figure is outside against the wall of the cold, frozen air of Hammer's Rest. And as
What do you want?
Still
I
remain.
would have words with you, if I may. And the
Now
figure,
is not the time.
now is the best time. And the figure pulls the hood back off of their head, revealing the pale skin and bright platinum blonde hair and crystal blue eyes of an elf, a wood elf, you believe, wearing what looks to be of some sort of scaled armor, a bow slung over their shoulder, and two scimitars at their sides. You are Nakma, am I correct?
How tall is this person?
6 foot, roughly.
So Nakma takes as many steps as it takes to get nose to top of head and breathes through his bovine face, through his nostrils. This better be good.
Hot steam blowing from your nostrils, cascading across the elf's features and blowing his long shoulder-length hair back. Ah, such a show. Are you done? Why be so drama? Please, I noticed your wrist. No, your ear. Your friend's wrist. Your ear. Might I see it? The tag.
I'll tilt my head just a little bit with that side.
He reaches forward, grabs the tag in one hand, kind of turns it. You feel a tug of your ear as he's not exactly gentle about it, looking and observing at what's hanging from your ear. Do you like it?
I do not, and I do not like those who put it there.
Thrandarel, he says with the word, a bit of an enchantment, and you see a glow from behind, just out of your peripheral, as the tag pulls free, and harmlessly in his hand, he takes it away from your ear. There, you're done with it. You're welcome.
Nakma takes a step back from him, confused but relieved. Not quite sure what to think.
As he begins walking
thank you.
away, he walks
Wait,
away
don't go anywhere.
without
I
making
have friends.
without making any eye contact. Continues walking despite your protest. Throws the tag to the ground and says, "Will you be coming with me?"
Where might that be?
It's not far.
I will follow 15 feet behind.
He disappears around some of the corners, and you keep your distance, but still trying to keep up with his pace. Despite the fact that he's shorter than you, he's very quick on his feet as he disappears around some of the corners of the building
Okay.
and appears around some of the back alleys to an area just behind and outside the city, around a grove of trees. As you move your way along, you find yourself here. Does that show up for everybody else? Yeah, they can kind of see it. It's at the bottom
Yep.
of the screen.
The circle of trees.
And as this wood elf approaches the grove, leans up against one of the trees and looks at you with a cocked eyebrow and a wry grin and says, "Oh, Nakmo, I have heard so much about you. Although tales tell that you're not quite so foolish as you appear to be. Tell me, Nakmo, why would you follow a complete stranger into the back of a city in a grove, the perfect place for an ambush?"
Is this the same voice that I've heard in my head twice now?
This is the elf.
Oh, the elf talking. Curiosity in your tiny figure doesn't scare me at this moment. You have no idea what's going through my mind.
Look, if I wanted to kill you, I would know exactly what would be going through your mind. The point of an arrow. And if I had wanted to kill you, I would have. But, truth be told, I'm here on a matter of diplomacy. We have a mutual acquaintance. Balthazar! Balthazar, you may come out now. Stepping from around the trees comes a figure wearing a leather jacket, elven silk robes.
Oh my god.
Well, Balthazar,
Silvermane, is that you?
as promised, Balthazar, I have reunited you with your friend.
Thank you, my
Nakma
friend.
gets as pale as he possibly can and gets a sickening feeling in his stomach, almost vomiting, and knocks down and rips out of the ground the tree next to him and says, "This cannot be true."
No, Nakma, that's no way to behave. And yes, they have treated me well so far, and I stand here before you. Calm down. What has that tree done to you? All is well. It's your good friend Taz, alive once more. And I
This
start
is
walking towards him.
trickery.
Oh, indeed, there are tricks at play, but I assure you, my friend, that this is Balthazar.
And
Balto?
I
Yes.
told you never to call me that.
Ah, it is you. Come here, little man.
And I'll give
You'll give him what?
a big hug.
I'll pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, who are these? Yeah, never mind. Let's get out of here. I know somebody who'd love to see you right now.
I don't
Perfect
know if I would.
timing.
Yeah, true. It's true that we should leave this place at once, but I must say my thanks before I go. And I approach this elf. My
Okay,
friend,
I'll put you down.
even though you have yet to tell me your name, I do appreciate your escort.
Ah, yes, well, all in a day's business. I would, appreciate meeting your friends tomorrow morning on the outside of town to the north. As I am told and understand, they have tags on them as well. No doubt that they would like to be rid of them.
Yes, one of them is very anxious and thinking about cutting his arm off.
Well,
How
then
is
maybe,
And I give an eyebrow to Taz or Balthazar.
well, perhaps the matter can wait a day or two then.
Very well,
Oh,
very well.
I would like to see how that plays out.
No one's cutting off their hand. Come,
It's very
Come, Nakma.
disconcerting.
Take me to our friends.
I
Let's
bid
go,
thee
buddy.
adieu, Balthazar. Try not
Oh.
to be so reckless in the future.
I shall do so. And please, give my best regards to Kalefell, will you not?
Oh, I shall indeed. And, we will speak again.
Thank
Absolutely.
you for returning our friend to us, Elf.
Don't you forget who did it.
Just remember, I was once told I was an invasive species.
No, perhaps
And
you
I
should
am
stop
not.
invading a territory and lands that you do not belong in.
No, my friends. No
Maybe
time
I'm
for
on
old rivalries.
diplomatic vacation.
Fare thee well, bovine. And as he kind of slinks behind one of the smaller
Cheers.
trees, almost seems to disappear between a tree trunk that looks too thin to conceal him as he hides in plain sight and conceals himself from your vision. The elf slips away into the shadows.
Come on, Balthazar, hop on my back. This is a free ride, buddy.
You know, Nakma, I think I would prefer to walk, although I appreciate the gesture. I must admit, some of the ways we've had to travel over the last few, I guess, days, time has little meaning lately, but it's been a bit disconcerting at the very least. I wouldn't mind taking in the sights of the town. But
Yeah, first, tell me where you've been as we walk to Ember and Mooney.
there will be plenty of time for that when we reach our friends. I will tell you all in time. That way I do not have to repeat the story more than once, for it is a fascinating tale. One that may shock and surprise you even. But
Alrighty.
before we say anything of the sort, I think it's best that we at the very least make our way out of Hammer's Rest and perhaps even the domain of the Jarls altogether. I fear we may be in great danger.
If it's out of this freaking cold, let's do it.
Very well.
It is a short trek, and you are back in the inn. The inn, for the most part, is completely quiet. There is the sound of somebody moving about in the early morning upstairs, perhaps fumbling for a chamber pot, having had too much to drink the night before. The sound of heaving can be heard from one room, but Nakamon takes you down the hallway past that into the corridor where you find Ember and Mooney's room. Ember to the left, Mooney to the right.
I will go to Mooney's room. And I will knock on the door and step to the side. Like you can't see me.
I'm already up and laying behind the door. Knife out.
Mooney, open the door. It's Nakma.
I slowly open it, and you just see like one eye poke through.
See Taz standing in front of you.
You mean Balthazar?
Taz.
Oh, yeah.
Mooney. Mooney.
I saw you die. All of a sudden, you just hear like all the locks undo at the top of like the door, and it fucking swings open. I grab him and pick him up, and as I hold him, I smell him. Does he smell like Balthazar?
Oh yeah, but Elvin. He stinks of elf.
It's nice to see you too, my friend. I missed you and Nakma. You crazy Duluths. Maybe put me down now, though?
Another one of my failures comes back to me.
Oh, now, Mooney, you're no failure. Why would you say such things of yourself? Look how strong you've gotten.
I look over at the floor and I point at it like the dead body wrapped in like linen.
My dear God, what do you have at Mooney? You're not eating people again, are you?
No! They killed our buddy Felix.
Oh, that bird, yes. I caught a glimpse or two of him when I was with Kalefell. I was wondering where you all met him.
The
But-
noise at this point has woken up Ember, and you hear this familiar sound of Balthazar's voice.
Oh, Lord. Lady, you work in strange ways. Let's go say hi. I open the door.
Opens.
Right. I had a feeling I might see you again. Oh, my lady. She does work wonders.
Ember Everbright. Is that you?
Indeed.
You're still here. Ah, you old cuss. It's great to see you.
Thank
and
you.
I give him a hearty clap on the back of the shell.
Nice. I've got actually when you hit the back of my shell, the wood shavings that are basically all over the front of me from my whittling this morning are just kind of fall to the ground.
Busy, I see. All of you, each of you. I must tell you, I am happy to find you all alive. There was a time when I feared I would never see each of you again.
How are you still alive? I watched them take you. You died in that storm.
Well, you see, that tale is a bit long in the telling, and it is not for any of the ears that may be listening around this place. It's best that we make our... It's best that we go from this town, and I can fill you all in once we are outside of Hammer's Rest. Do you all have business here?
Well, our business is revenge.
Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
For that poor birdman down there.
Yes. I want to slay all
He
those
too is a
kobolds.
friend of Mooney.
Well, tell me what happened. How did this... From what I've seen of the bird creature, he seemed very capable. It's
Yes, it could have.
amazing to me.
Honestly, it was almost me. He stepped up and took my place. We went into that mine in good faith to negotiate with those kobolds. They lured one of us out from the rest of us and then lit him on fire. It was horrible.
They burned him alive.
They did.
Well,
It appeared that way, yes.
And
No,
now
I-
the Jarls.
Booney,
Go.
your passive perception picks up that Nakma no longer has his tag on his ear.
Oh, what the shit?
Oh, yeah.
What is that? What? How'd you get rid of that?
Well, when I stormed out of here a little while ago, this elf removed the tag and brought me to Taz. So he's lucky I didn't kill him because he took it out of my ear. It was perfect timing to calm me down.
So,
actually, that's part of why I suggest we should leave this place. I have bought us one day, so if you all would like to manage this mission of revenge, I will join you on it. But waiting just outside of the city is an ally, and he will remove your tag for you.
like, he's going to wait a day, or do we need to go see him, like, right now? Otherwise, he's not going to wait around.
He will meet us outside the town in one day's time.
Alright. Well, the Jarl's going in
He's
there
out
this
there
morning.
even now. Yes.
Well, the Jarl's going there, like, any time this moment. I don't even know if we have time to eat. They could be being slaughtered right now by those kobolds.
Yes,
Why didn't we warn him last night?
Yeah, we didn't really have time. Maybe we can go and warn him about the traps.
I personally will not join you in warning of... Rather not make my face known. If there's some place you all would like to meet me at, or I can maybe stay outside somewhere, but I'm ready to help however I can.
It's just good to see you and have you back. I put my hand on the shoulder.
It's almost surreal, isn't it? I can't wait to tell you all what has happened, but like I said, now is not the time.
Alright, so are we
Agreed.
gonna make our way back to the Jarl?
Oh yeah, it's morning time. They were gonna go and wipe out the kobolds.
That is true.
I gather up my things and Felix.
Wait, we need to go get Ember.
Ember,
We'll be
I'm
very
right here,
pleased
my
to see
friend.
you, Taz. Oh, you are?
But-
Okay.
Perhaps, perhaps I should leave this tag on.
No. I mean, unless you'd like it.
Yeah,
It is kind of cool looking. It's
doesn't
great
bother me.
jewelry.
Anywho, let's go meet with this Jarl. Taz, perhaps you should meet us at the entrance to the mine. We'll just tell the Jarl that we are rested, and he can follow us in.
Very well. I will do that. I will do that absolutely. No problem. Perhaps you could join me, Nakmo.
I will, on the other way.
Very well. Lead on, my horned friend.
Okay, so the plan is I'm gonna go and ask for the morning to go extract our revenge. But I don't really care about the money so much anymore. We're there to kill kobolds.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that right now too.
So we'll go see what the Jarl thinks about that.
Akmar collects his things in his axe, and we head out.
With your old companion slung over Mooney's shoulder and your new old companion at your heels, you gather up your things, you take a quick, easy breakfast on the road, and you make your way to the Iron Hall, the home of the Jarl Otter the Stout. And we're going to call it for tonight.
All right.
Good game.
Okay. All right. Well, I can just say, hey Rick, bring up your character sheet. Where
Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah. Okay. And you can actually just automatically level up and then enter that dice that you rolled as for your hit points. Well, well done. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
I feel better having missed our last week. Now it's like, okay, there we go. Little D&D fix, keep the edge off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun game. Daniel, I'm sorry for killing another character.
Oh, it's all right. I did not expect that, I will admit, but dude, when you climb down a tunnel, that's filled with flammable oil and volatile kobolds, you gotta be willing to accept the fact that you might get lit on fire.
You're taking your life in your own hands.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a part of me that didn't think, this might go the wrong way, and it went that way. So.
I am curious. So let's just say you were successful on your first attempt to pick the lock. You open the door, then what?
I was honestly, my entire intention was to just continue to try to keep them talking.
Negotiate.
And
okay. Yeah.
if I was able to open that door, I was just going to continue to try to act disarmingly, like kick the whip aside, try to talk to them about coinage or something, but I didn't want to let myself get trapped behind a fence either, so I was trying to take a little control over the situation, but it didn't work.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
It was a nasty trap. It was a nasty trap for sure, and it was deadly, obviously. Oh, man. It was a brutal trap.
Yeah, 3d10 per round for a whole minute. That's rough.
4.
4 die 10.
It's 4 die 10 with a low con save for you to try to take half damage. The con save was actually set for basically a medium trap difficulty according to the Dungeon Master's Guide for a level 4 character, but the damage was definitely set to deadly. Because you're in a tunnel full of fire, what else would it be?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Like what the audience did not hear off screen during our break is that it was obviously a trap. And I'm glad that everybody agrees on that because you crawled into a tunnel full of flammable oil. So.
Well, I mean, I knew it was a trap,
for real.
but I just didn't know if I knew it was a trap.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if they were trapping me. Like, were they being sincere or were they just shining me on? That was, and like I said, once they started chanting and stuff, I was like, oh, they're just fucking shining me on, dude. Like, they don't give a shit. They're not gonna bargain with me. Like, they just brought me down here because they wanted to roast someone.
Ooh, you almost made it out. You behind the screen, your checks were pretty good, and you actually were on track to making it out of that alive. But man, you botched it at the end.
You never know.
All right, that's D&D.
Yep, that's D&D.
It is.
Part of why it's fun.
Action and consequence. And hey, Taz is back.
Yay!
Which has
Yes.
been like a long-standing plot point to bring him back. Daniel wasn't sure if he wanted to bring him back at first, and then like after some really contemplation on it, it's like, yeah, this is a good character with a good story arc. I want to revive him if I can. I'm like, okay, I'll find a way to revive your character, and it's tied into the story pretty well. Everything's going great.
It really is. You guys are gonna have fun with. This is really gonna. I think it's really gonna like put us in the world. I guess is how I want to put that. Like, there are now consequences.
Good.
Oh, there have been consequences. It's just you haven't seen them yet, and now you're
Right.
going to see what
Yeah.
these. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've been in a tiny corner of the world, so now you get to you're gonna see how your actions have made an impact on the world around you, even though you've been in a tiny corner of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
We're about to go online, basically.
Dude,
We're going
wait
from, like-
until we discover a couple more areas of Amarth and the consequences have compounded and twisted along with everybody else's. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to play a level.
And bonus, you're all level 4.
Yes.
I know
thank you.
I know you can't wait to go back in there and kill some kobolds with your new power.
Oh, I cannot wait, dude. And they're gonna die.
Yeah, I got slow fall, guys.
Wait, I thought you didn't do you didn't jump over to It's Not Time?
You literally just saw me get scarred, right? I just I just had a whole like dream sequence about it. You're too weak to do that.
Oh,
I can't be a fucking ranger right now. Watching my friend die like just changed that.
You're too weak.
Oh man, that you know what? As a dungeon master and a little bit of a teaser for next week, with all that in mind, Mooney, I can't wait to see what dynamic is played off between you meeting this ranger, who is able to remove the tag from your wrist, and then you deciding to take a level in ranger as you try to head off into the frozen abyss of ice on your way to Barrow.
Yeah, I didn't take ranger because of this. Like because Felix died, I went a level in monk.
Right. Now you're gonna come across this elven ranger, and your character hates elves. This will be a fun dynamic. Can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better too. But yeah, great game,
DM
guys.
defuses Nakma's anger.
I'm glad that
He's gonna rage
Taz
in the
is
street.
back.
Thaddeus is still around. Thaddeus has been hanging around for a while.
Yeah, because they can hear us.
And you guys left Thaddeus in the inn.
Did we?
Yeah, you guys never gathered up Thaddeus. He's gonna wake up in the morning and be like, where did everybody go?
Oh, he can just track the chronotrons or whatever they're called.
Well, I
Like
haven't
he
technically
can just
left
track
the inn yet.
Or Thadens or something like that.
Right.
We didn't say we actually left the inn. We were just talking about it.
You all go to the mine, and Thaddeus is like, maybe they're leaving town, like we talked about. And he starts leaving town. And like, has anybody gone this traveler farmer? Has anybody left town recently? Oh no, nobody's left town down this road. Where the hell are they?
Where have they gone?
We'll get him on the way out of the inn.
It's who's clues. It's Thaddeus's clues.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna stop the stream. Say goodnight, everybody.
Night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everybody.
Let's make a goal to try and get video for at least a couple of songs.
We want to try and do video on the stream next week. Let's make that a goal.
Okay,
I love that.
cool.
I'm
All
down.
right. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Have a good